Skyrim is a game with huge amount of items you can gather. There are even mods that let you automatically loot and harvest everything. Most of that stuff you don't actually need, you just carry it in your inventory and sell it to vendors. But I got a mod for you that automatically turns stuff you don't need into something useful. Something you actually use, not just carry around with you. For example, you can turn all types of arrows or crossbow bolts into one type. You can convert ingredients, food, soul gems, crafting materials, junk, weapons, armor, books, scrolls, all kinds of things. Or you can just automatically sell things in your inventory. The mod is called ConverSell. With this mod you can be both a hoarder and a minimalist. You can gather everything and still keep your inventory clean. Okay. Let me show you how it works. In the MCM menu you just pick whatever you want to convert or auto-sell. But before we go there, let's check some other tools we got. In your spell menu you got two spells, custom auto-sell chest and exclusion chest. Basically the first one, custom auto-sell chest, whatever you put inside that chest, the type of item that's inside it will be auto-sold from your inventory, not from the chest itself. And the second one is exclusion chest. Whatever you place there will not be converted or automatically sold, even if this type of item is selected in the MCM menu. For example, you pick in the MCM menu to convert all ingredients into some potions, but the ingredients you place inside that exclusion chest, they will never be converted or auto-sold. And these spells are needed just to access the chest. That's it. You can place there whatever you want. There are some types of items that the mod handles even if they are not vanilla items, items added by some mods, but not from all categories. Some categories of items like weapons or armor are more hardly defined, predefined lists of items, but items like food or ingredients, you can break them down even if they are not vanilla items. So let's go into the MCM menu, ConverSell, here it is. The previous version of this mod had two large, huge menus. It was less convenient than now. Now it's optimized. So let's see. You can always pause the mod. If you have this file access interface mod, you can save or load the settings. That's probably what I'm gonna do now. I click on it and I wait until I see this word loaded, or until I see saved, right? Of course, without even watching this tutorial, you can see the information here about each item. But still, I thought it's a good idea to make a video and explain kind of better everything. So these options are self-explanatory. You can just increase or lower the amount of stuff you get from breaking down other stuff. Auto-sell price, you know. So in each category you basically choose what you want to auto-sell or convert into other things if you're auto-selling an item. This is its multiplier. If you're breaking it down in order to create something else out of it, so this multiplier is used for that purpose. How many crafting materials, how much essence do you get from that? This option, keep quest items, is useful if you're playing with quests, obviously. Now I kinda don't have time to play with quests, so I usually don't check this, but of course you can check it. You know, there are these quests where you gotta find 20 flowers or something like that, 10 bear pelts. Although independently of this option, the mod still checks if the item is a quest item. And if the game registers this item as a quest item, it never auto-sells it, it never breaks it down independently of what you choose here in the MCM menu. But not all items that you need for your quests are actually quest items. For example, if you are harvesting some ingredients for some quests, they are not quest items. They are just normal items that you need to bring to some NPC. And this option tracks the vanilla quests. The full list of these quests will be on the Nexus mod page. I find it really convenient. Now I don't have to keep track of the things, of the quests I've completed. For example, these Argonians in Riften that have the quests about some precious gems. So when you're running around the Skyrim, you don't need to think about flawless amethysts for Madesi or whatever its name is. Until the quest is finished, you will have this amount, the necessary amount of these items in your inventory. And then, after you give these items to these quest givers, you'll be able to auto-sell every single one of them. This next option, show debug messages, is basically for mod testing, so you probably don't need it. The next option lets you set the interval with which the script runs. These are basic resources that are used in converters. Some resources are like physical resources in your inventory, and some are just virtual values. You can see these values here. For example, food essence. These are like nutrients you get from all the food you gather and break down into these nutrients. And then out of these nutrients, you create whatever you want here. Food, drinks, into whatever you want. Into some potions or into some stew. Crafting. There are things you can break down into crafting materials. Things like arrows, bolts, weapons, already existing crafting materials like ingots, all kinds of things, junk, dwarven stuff, or all this you can just break down into basic crafting materials. And I'm not talking about the vanilla crafting materials. I'm talking about some kind of really basic essence that exists only with this mod installed. And you can break down all these things into this crafting essence, these crafting materials, and do, for example, one kind of arrows or bolts. Or you can automatically let the game choose, let the mod choose what type of ammo you can craft. I personally I prefer this option. With it, the types of arrows you can craft depends on your smithing skill level. Or you can convert or sell them all. For example, you're not an archer, you don't use crossbows, anything like that. You don't need arrows or bolts at all, and you can just break them down or auto-sell. This option means convert, sell all. Convert or sell everything. It's when you don't need this type of items at all. Here at the top you set actually what you want to do with them. Do you want to sell or convert? Or you don't want to do anything, you know? But let's say I want to convert everything into arrows. When you don't have your own preset, you can just pick all defaults, you know, and then you can fine-tune these settings to fit your own gameplay. Here you can see that you can convert or sell some rare arrows like practice arrows, or I don't know, rusty Draugr arrows, or non-vanilla arrows. This option lets you craft the maximum amount of arrows per one click. The crafting itself happens for some converters, happens using the crafting stations like forges or cooking pots. Some converters work absolutely automatically without needing to use crafting stations. So there are kind of different converters, and they do different things. They sometimes behave kind of differently. So this mod is like a set of different converters all in one. There is a bug in the game that kind of doesn't count the amount of items you craft when it gives you crafting experience. So if you want to get more experience, you can uncheck this box. But if you prefer speed and convenience, you can check it. With this you can craft like thousands of arrows per one mouse click, depending on the amount of materials you got for crafting. But without this option you will be creating the fixed amount of arrows. Of course, you can pick a particular type of arrow you want to have, you know. For example, maybe you prefer elven arrows. And you can break down all other types of arrows and craft only this type. But I prefer automatic. Next we have weapons. You can pick what weapons you want to break down or what you don't want to break down. One-handed, two-handed bows, crossbows, shields, ingots. You can craft ingots you need. You can convert or sell all of them, or you can leave for example 10 in your inventory and sell the rest, or break down the rest. And we got other stuff, or dwarven stuff. You can only sell or convert junk and not touch things like Dwemer Centurion core or some maybe more valuable things. But I usually don't need those, so I convert everything. Hearthfire stuff, some building materials, you know, glass, nails, hinges, whatever you want. Here are the things you might want to keep some amount of them, so there are options where you can keep, for example, you can keep 5 dragon bones and sell the rest, or keep 5 dragon scales, or keep both 5 dragon bones and 5 dragon scales, and sell the excess amount of that. The same goes for leather, axes, pickaxes. Maybe you need an axe, you want to chop some wood, so you can leave one axe, or you can leave both one axe and one pickaxe and sell the rest. Also you can, for example, keep one torch and 80 lockpicks and also sell the rest. Now let's get to the alchemy converter. On top you can also pick whether you want to convert or automatically sell everything. Well, let's pick convert. You can pick ingredients by types. You can pick potions. For example, maybe you want to break down everything but keep, I don't know, invisibility potions. So you'll be able to turn all other potions into this type of potions. Or maybe you have a quest where you gotta swim underwater and you can temporarily create a water breathing potion and use it, and then just set to break it down again. And non-vanilla potions, you can also break that or auto sell them. And now let's get to the other categories, other converters. There are multiple smaller converters. For example, books and scroll converter, food converter, soul gems, gems, animal drops, armor, clothes. Let's deal with the books first. So you can turn all kinds of books and scrolls into gold, obviously, if you want to auto sell them. Or there is an interesting option, perk points. So it's like your gathering wisdom from all the books and scrolls. Or you can turn them into some particular types of scrolls, some with strong spells, powerful spells. You can make it like a part of your gameplay where you will actually use scrolls. So here you just pick the target of this converter. And these options below, here you pick the source. What gets broken down or what gets auto-sold. Common books, scrolls, skill books, spell tomes. You can, for example, set only to convert the books that are already read. By the way, if you want to get those items in your custom auto-sell chest to get auto-sold, you gotta enable this option. Enable other converters. So the types of items from that chest and the things you can pick here, it all gets automatically sold or converted if you check this checkbox. If you play with the survival mod on Anniversary Edition, you can create, some food. You break down all other types of food and create only one type. And instead of carrying 100 of food items in your inventory, you'll be just carrying the same bowls of beef stew, for example. Or you can actually turn all food into alchemical essence, and then it will be used in the alchemy converter to make some potions. Here is the soul gem converter. You can, for example, break down all other soul gems and create, black-filled soul gems. There is also an option to break down not vanilla soul gems. Here you can, by the way, also convert staffs into soul gems if you want, or into crafting materials, crafting essence, or just gold, whatever you want. Normal precious gems. You can pick some types, or you can just auto-sell everything. Animal drops like pelts or horns or things like that. Armor, you can, for example, pick heavy armor. Here, if you pick some type of armor, for example, orcish armor, it means that all kind of weaker armors would be auto-sold or auto-converted. So if you pick orcish, it means that dwarven would be auto-sold. Or if you pick daedric, you'll be able to keep the daedric armor, but everything else, everything that's cheaper or less cool, will be auto-sold. But I prefer auto-selling everything and just use some armor from a mod, some unique armor that's not a part of the vanilla game. Well, that's it, guys. As you see, it's not that complicated. Just pick whatever you want, then save your preset, and you're all set. Now you can run around, gather everything, and don't worry about your carry weight. Your inventory will be minimalistic and clean, only the thing you actually need. For example, here I gathered some ingredients. Let's wait a little bit, and it will get converted. That's it. As you can see, I don't have anything. All the ingredients got converted into alchemical essence, and I'll be able to create some potions using that essence. So now I can just loot everything and use it up. Let's see what this guy has. Aha, so he's got orcish boots. I can use it for crafting, crossbow, torture tools. Yeah, these guys always have torture tools, bloody rocks. I can use everything. I can just take everything. And now, thank you, enemy, for really useful stuff. Now I don't have to search for some vendors. I can just convert the stuff I don't need into the things I actually need. And now you guys are also able to do that.